Good midnight, my name is Level 7 and this is a new series of Pokemon Y Classiclocke. In this game, we're going to use Pokemon that are only in the first generation. So, without further ado, let's begin our adventure. Oh, and also some of the song comes from the anime as well. So, it might have something similar. Welcome to the world of Pokemon. And there's Professor Sycamore in 3D. I am Augustine Sycamore, the Kalos region's very own Pokemon professor. He throws a Pokeball and it's a Skiddo. This world of ours is widely inhabited by creatures known as Pokemon. These mysterious creatures can be found in every corner of our world. Some run across the plains, others fly through the skies, and others yet swim deep in... Oh shoot, I can't read fast enough. Oh well, we live together with these Pokemon, lending our strength to one another and live and prosper. Let's get started with some quick questions. I am definitely a guy. And what do I look like? More like in the middle, I guess. Come on, I'm Asian. Oh, I see. Will you tell me your name? No problem. Okay, so I'm gonna name myself Vincent. And gotta press the start button. Yep. And there's what I look like. So it's Vincent, did I get that right? Yes. Yes, you did, Professor. Tresbian, what a fantastic name. Your adventure begins now. You're about to enter the beautiful Colors region. Go and meet many Pokemon and people. Now, let's go visit the world of Pokemon. I like this introduction actually. It's like it has even better introduction than the past Pokemon games. And Fletchling is a family pet of the main character's parents. And it's gonna wake me up like they did to Serena. Don't hit me so hard. Oh, your peck attack hurts. That kinda sucks though. And I got off from my room. And you wanna see how the save feature works? Well, not the save feature works, but you want to see how fast it can save the game? I'll show it to you. Bam! Not even a second. Actually, what I should have done is I would have set to fast, and battle style set, and then force save? Force save? What the heck? Default L equals A. Okay, so we are set. Confirm. And then we gotta save one more time because I forgot to do so. And here we go. Oh my god, this technology is so amazing. But before we go downstairs, we gotta do this. Vince looked in the mirror. Change its clothes and no more pajamas. We're all set to go outside. I like this. Change out its pajamas. Alright, so unfortunately I have to do some interruption here, so here goes. Now, before we get to before we get to begin our adventure, we must first discuss what a Classiclocke is. Now, I have a scratch notebook with me, and let me see if my lights can flash. Yep, and it causes a glare. Okay, so before I get to explain what a Classiclocke is, I must explain what a Nuzlocke is. So a Nuzlocke challenge is actually a self-imposed rule. It's not in the game automatically. You have to make your own rules. So the central rules include you can only catch the first Pokemon in that route, all Pokemon must be nicknamed, if a Pokemon faints it's dead and can't be used, and if you lose a Pokemon battle, the game is over. So that's considered a failed Nuzlocke. And there are various clauses where we have to accept some of the things that happen to us. For example, Dupe's clause, Pokemon that has already been caught, you don't have to catch that Pokemon again, or this like kind of discourages trainers like us to use the same Pokemon over and over because the first one died. So we can't use the same Pokemon. And then not enforcing Nuzlocke rules until you get Pokeballs, because if you don't get a Pokeball and if you're unable to catch a Pokemon, it's not fair to just lose. So this is what Nuzlocke rule kind of looks like, but they have even harder ones. Now, about what Classiclocke will actually this will be similar to a regular Nuzlocke challenge. You can accept that it's still in about Generation 1 Pokemon, so You can only catch the first generation 1 Pokemon you find in this route. That means that if you find a Pokemon that is from a different generation, then that doesn't count against your encounter rate. So let's say that I am in Route 2 and I'm trying to look for a Generation 1 Pokemon and I come across a Zigzagoon, for example. That's a Generation 3 Pokemon and that doesn't count against your encounter. So what actually counts against your encounter is the moment you find the first Generation 1 Pokemon, such as Pidgey or Caterpie or any of the like. Rules number 2, 3, and 4 are the same. Now, this is what I took notes about to think if it's a good idea for me to do that, but I have to do it anyways because I just got started. Now, what I have here is you can only use your Kalos starter, that's one exception, until you reach Sycamore Lab, in which you must replace your Kalos starter. So let's say if I chose Chespin as a grass type Pokemon, then the moment I receive a Kanto starter, I must pick the same type. So if I chose Chespin, I must choose Bulbasaur, and I have to box Chespin in the forbidden box. However, if your Kalos starter faints before you can get your Kanto starter, then you can no longer use your Kanto starter. So you have to keep that Pokemon alive in order to gain that priority and permission to use it. Dupe's Claws, same as before. So there should be a lot of opportunities to catch Generation 1 Pokemon, but I'll turn on the page later. Oh, and then Pokeball. Oh yeah. So in the back in Red and Blue and Yellow, the kinds of Pokeball that is only available in the entire game is Pokeball, Great Ball, or Ultra Ball. Any other Pokeball in future generations cannot be used. And then next one up is no held items. So in Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, there's no items for Pokemon to hold. It's just increasing stats and beating the heck out of them. So yeah, don't even think about attaching berries or attaching competitive items such as leftovers, Eviolite, none of that. Not even Mega Evolutions. So unfortunately in this Classic Lock you won't see any Mega Evolutions, and that kinda sucks. And the next point, can only use items that exist in Red, Blue, Yellow. So like I said before, in Pokeballs there's only 3 kind. Oh, and as well as items, I believe there's Escape Rope, the 3 Repels, and I guess that's pretty much it for the item side. The medicine, there is Potion, Super Potion, Hyper Potion, Max Potion, Full Restore, Revive, which you don't want to use anyways, Max Revive, same as that. The status ailments, the freshwater, soda pop, lemonade, but not the milks, because milks doesn't exist in Generation 1, so no milks, but lemonade's probably the best item to use for healing, and it's a lot cheaper. And the next point is turn off EXP share while recording, because that is so overpowered as well. The only time I'll be using experience share is when I have to do some grinding. But other than that, I don't think I have to do any grinding because they give a lot of experience points, even if you don't battle. Or even if you switched out. And then there's that one point that I don't want to consider. It's about baby Pokemon. It shouldn't be of a lot of issues. Like, okay, a baby Pokemon evolves into a Generation 1 Pokemon. So for example, Pichu and Pikachu, well, unfortunately, if Pichu is here, it doesn't count against me. So I think I should scratch out this point here. I don't think baby Pokemon should be counted as Generation 1 Pokemon because it's not fair. And last but not least, Battle Style Set. Just to discourage the advantage of having to switch out before the opponent sends out their ace or their other strong trainer. Anyway, so given that I made the rule saying that you can only catch the first Generation 1 Pokemon, in my next couple of pages, I have took down notes in bobapedia.bobagarden.net, and I tracked down which Pokemon that are available in each route. So I don't have to go back to the website and then research that. I can always refer to my notebook. So I believe I wrote in 3 pages, so Given that there's a sizable amount of Pokemon to be encountered, there's no excuse not for me to include that rule that says you can only catch the first generation 1 Pokemon, because that's the purpose of the variation of the Nuzlocke that is called Classiclocke. And if you haven't heard it the first time, well, there you have it. So that is all I'm going to talk about on what a Classiclocke is. And so in the next episode, we are really going to take on the adventure, but in this episode, this is probably going to be called Part 0, I am a Gym Runner. Now, I don't know if the word Gym Runner is a good or a bad thing to call, but to me it looks like the word Gym Runner is kind of like a negative stereotype to people who play Pokemon and only like the first generation and none other. But I don't think, I mean, what do you guys think? You think that the word Gym Runner is a good thing to call them or not? While I just left you to think about it, I'm going to end it here. So it's kind of like a short episode of almost doing nothing. Alright, so that's going to be it for this midnight. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.